we have another two plot lines this week. First up, we have Sam and Dean driving up to Alaska. They make it, somehow, on fumes and pocket change. There they learn the game is pool, with the wager being luck. But they don't need luck. Pool is practically a second job for them. Too bad the other patrons need their help. Yep, turns out we got an old god running the place, of the red-headed MILF variety. Well, let's have you be her. Thankfully, this time she doesn't try ripping off any of their fingernails, but just wants to play a few games. There's some banter, some fleshing out of canon before the boys ultimately lose. But the demigod gives them an A for effort and lets them have some luck for the upcoming season arc. Meanwhile, Castiel comes back to the bunker and gets a call from a sheriff that I could swear we've seen before, but all my research says we haven't. Turns out, Jack's been spotted, and now he's an apprentice to Mola Ram, ripping out the hearts for their nutritional value. Wait, those hearts are of the Angels, special asshole divisions. He gets caught and tortured, but Daddy Cash shows up to save the day and bring him home. There we learn that Jack is working on grinding out some XP in order to gain enough levels to challenge the end boss, Chuck. I first have to admit to laughing a bit as I was watching this episode. Along with some friends, I've been watching an anime called No Game, No Life, about a world where things are literally determined by games, even wars. So to have a supernatural episode air about the boys using a game to determine their luck, well, it made me chuckle with the timing. The episode even starts with a special appearance by Truck-kun. So, here's a philosophy question for the age. Was this an ARC episode or a Monster of the Week episode? I actually do enjoy it. We can't quite answer that question. I'm going to start with examining the B-plot first, which follows the definite ARC plot of Jack's return to life. Well, we can certainly declare him a Winchester now. Not only has he died and come back twice, but now we've got to see him semi-shirtless and being tortured. Something which Cass, Dean, and Sam have all gone through. Welcome to the club, kid. And look, I'll admit at this point, I just can barely care anymore. Oh, there's some new bit on Angels. My reply is increasingly, sure, why not? It will be whatever the writers need it to be, and if they can't be arsed to care about the story, why should I? We've all known since the end of season 14 that the goal was to have Jack replace Chuck. Of course, he's going to have to do some kind of side quest to gain that XP so he can level up to the godlike powers he's needed. How is Jack's soul back after being burned away? How does he have grace again? How does the concept of angel hearts even work? The writers don't care. Why should I? Really, that he's returned with 9 episodes left to go, well, that tells me Jack is probably going to fail in his efforts, and the writers will invent some new way to win at the last minute. Maybe not, but that's where my current bet is. Now, as for the A-plot, yes, it's very reminiscent of the Season 5's Curious Case of Dean Winchester, where these guys gambled away years of life on a poker game, down to even the sequence where Dean is the first to play, then Sam is the one who plays during the climax. Still, this did demonstrate why I'm so often willing to give this writer the benefit of a doubt. They really get the soul of the show. I mean, the episode opens with North to Alaska playing on the radio, a song my father has played within earshot of me way more times than I can count. It's not only perfect for the plot, but even references a character named Sam. A classic song perfectly tying into the events on screen to help set a mood. Classic Supernatural. Then, when we get the mystery involved, Dean gets a bit over-focused on the goal, while Sam frets over the people involved. Again, like the show was back in the day. Later seasons seem to have turned the boys into a bit of cartoons about themselves. Dean would practically be callous at times. Here, they felt more like brothers. Sam wanted to help people. Dean wasn't sure at first, but Sam makes his case and then Dean agrees. I especially like the character interplay where Sam first stressed to Dean that they needed to get out while we were ahead, and at first I thought the story was setting up some kind of Dean addiction episode that Sam would have to pull him out of, but no, It turns out that Dean is quite willing to leave once he's won a game. It's Sam now who objects and insists they remain. Then at the climax, the boys keep insisting on trying to help the innocent people trapped in the bar. Again, it feels like we have our original boys back. Two ordinary dudes who show concern, genuine concern, over the fate of ordinary people. I like that they even seem to have a wordless conversation over risking the final game, and Dean backed his brother. I can't express how much I enjoyed the way this all played out. So much modern stories assume that since conflict equals drama, you can increase the tension in a scene by just having the characters play out the Monty Python argument sketch. We should do this. No, we should do that. This, that, this, that, this, that. On and on and on. Well, that gets old fast. Especially when there's no real motivation or character drive behind it. This episode shows how it's done. One brother makes a point. The other brother brings up an objection that is logical and within his character. They go back and forth for a brief moment like adults having a conversation. Then one brother concedes to the other brother's idea plan, even if you can tell that they don't agree with it. Writers need to realize that a soft objection can be every bit as dramatic and engaging as competitive screaming matches. And it was a nice touch that the boys ultimately lost, only to convince the enemy to aid them. I like that a lot, and it, again, felt very early Supernatural. I'm still not thrilled with the arc all this talent is in service to, but it was nice to see the Monster of the Week acknowledge the season arc and actually address it a little. Like so many of these little touches throughout an episode draws me in and really makes it feel like a real world that I'm visiting. And that's about all I have to say. When you have a solid episode like this, it just works. Even with some of the messes involving Jack's story, this felt like an episode made by someone who understood the spirit of Supernatural, rather than by a cargo cultist who knows what trappings a supernatural story should have, but doesn't get the essence of what makes it work. That's why I'm going to give this episode a 4 out of 5. A solid effort by one who knows the show's heart. Until next time, do a background check on any pool halls you visit.